Hi everyone, welcome. We're down here in my wormery preparing and checking on the African night crawlers that live here in these yellow buckets. They've been in these yellow buckets now for quite a while, 264 days. So that puts them up there among the oldest of my systems. And the reason there's a discrepancy, you could see 24th feeding last time in bucket number 1 and only 20th feeding in bucket number 2 was because of a little set it and forget it test that we did in here, which caused this system for about 7 weeks to be out of the feeding schedule. And that's the reason for the discrepancy in the feeding. So today I was going to be giving them feedings number 25 and 21 after 10 days since the last time we checked in here. They got some Brussels sprout leaves and some, I don't know, that might have been it. Did they get coffee? I don't think so. Well, today what's on the menu is coffee. And the coffee's been sitting here in this container for quite some time now. It's dry, so it's very lightweight. Even though this thing's almost full of coffee, it's got virtually no weight to it because it's dry. And I think that's a good thing because something we've been trying to do in these systems for the past 2 check-ins now. 2 check-ins ago, we removed these bubble wrap top coverings that we had on here. Well, we left paper top coverings, but when we came in last time, the moisture still seemed quite high, so off came the paper top coverings. And for the past 10 days, they've been left uncovered here. I guess I probably would have gone a few more days without checking in, but last night I was just walking through the wormery, and there was worms in both buckets, just crawling up the walls for whatever reason. I don't know why. Today when I came down, I turned on the lights, and the lights, I believe, might have caused the worms to dive down, so they might have been exhibiting that same climbing behavior today too. I don't know, because I kind of fouled up the opportunity to observe it if it was happening by turning on the lights and then not checking right away to see what was happening here. Or whatever, maybe something changed, but when I see worms starting to crawl the walls, I do kind of wonder if there's something about the material that's making them feel like they've got to get out of it. And what they're really trying to do is get away, not get to something. A lot of times they're just trying to get to something they like moisture or something like that. So I don't myself don't subscribe to the concept of worms trying to overcome the sense that they're being held hostage or trying to flee or free themselves when they're climbing or something. I think they're perfectly content to stay right where they're at if things are comfortable and healthy, and if something's causing them to want to not be in contact with the material that they're occupying, then it probably deserves a closer look. I think that's probably where I've messed up on a few occasions, unfortunately. So in goes today's feeding. This stuff's been sitting in here for a while, so it's kind of not just flowing out. It seems to be somewhat dried in here. Let's see if we can get some of it to dislodge from the container. You can see some of it's got some mold growing on it. Stuff's been sitting around here for a while, so oops, ooh. It seems like I was able to break a few more chunks of it loose. But we don't have to make this into a massive feeding. I just wanted to really just use this as an excuse to come in here to make sure things are looking okay, just because of the climbing that I observed yesterday. It also seemed to me like, since drying is high on our wish list for these systems, checking to see how the drying is progressing was also of interest to me. After the paper coverings came off last time, plastic coverings removed for a while. Didn't really seem to make much difference, and for that reason I kind of thought that maybe simply removing paper coverings wouldn't make much difference either. But I don't know, it almost does seem to me like perhaps there is a little bit of drying going on here, or maybe I'm just kind of talking myself into seeing what I want to see. I don't know. I think we'll do the same here. We'll just kind of go through and verify that things look okay. I mean, if things were really bad, some worms would react to the bright lights and dive down, but a great many of them would probably even stay out of the material if it was causing them discomfort or anything like that. So I don't get the sense that that was the case here. I think maybe there was just some higher humidity going on or something, and I think there was just some possibly condensation collecting on the walls of the containers that the worms might have been after. That's usually my go-to assumption when I see worms climbing. So I don't see it very often because I don't have covers. So the humidity zones in my containers are pretty much non-existent. But if I had lids, then there'd be, more damp air in the system above the surface of the material below the lid. But since I don't have that cavity of air, I don't get that. Well, I mean, here in the buckets, I guess this is the only place where I do sort of have a little bit of a cavity of air. So it's not covered, but it does have sidewalls. So I sometimes wonder if perhaps getting little kind of moisture, little concentrations of moisture in the air that rests within these buckets just above the surface and just below the rim. I don't know. So let's give them some of this coffee we got here. This stuff's got mold on it all the way through, which is something that worms generally like, so hopefully they'll appreciate this. Yeah, it feels kind of good to be putting in a food that is this dry. It does seem like it's probably going to absorb some of the moisture of the material that it comes in contact with. So I think we'll probably see even further improvement the next time we come into these systems. And another something we've been talking about is possibly transferring the contents of these systems into bus bins so that we'd gain the benefit of more surface area and shallower material, and then that might help us drive towards more rapid drying of the materials. So I mean, that's kind of in the back of my mind, but I haven't really taken any steps to make that happen. Maybe next time. All right, everyone, that's it for the check-in with the African night crawlers in the yellow buckets. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. That's always really appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's very much appreciated as well. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.